Good morning. The song is called Spirit Divine, and your part goes like this. Spirit Divine, Spirit Divine, Spirit Divine. I'm trusting Spirit to meet all my needs. When I trust in Spirit, I always succeed. Energy flowing, the light brightly shines. Here's us. Spirit Divine. Sometimes I'm frightened and feeling confused. Then I remember that I'm being used and exalted by Spirit Divine. Here's us. Spirit Divine. I'm open and willing, and I'm filling up. The blessings I feel overflow in my cup, with gratitude pointing me to the one mind, Spirit Divine. I'm open and willing, and I'm filling up. The blessings I know overflow in my cup, with gratitude pointing me to the one mind, Spirit Divine. I'm trusting Spirit to meet all my needs. When I trust in Spirit, I always succeed. Energy flowing, the light brightly shines. Spirit Divine, with gratitude pointing me to the one mind, Spirit Divine. Now we're gonna chant this part. Spirit Divine, Spirit Divine, Spirit Divine. Oh, the Spirit, Spirit Divine. Two more, big finish. Spirit Divine, Spirit Divine. And so it is.
Oh, good morning, everybody. Everybody safely tucked away in your homes. We're so happy you're joining us this morning. So let's take a moment to make this moment as sacred as we can by simply turning within together, creating a consciously connected community all around the globe, simply by closing our outer eyes and letting the world be where the world is, doing what the world is doing. And we open our inner eyes to gaze into the place and space, dimension within us that is whole, perfect, and free, that is at one with the Spirit of God. And so I know that as we move through this morning service, that we are lifted, we are strengthened, we are healed, we are inspired, and that we do this from a holy intention to remember to know the truth in this moment. The truth will set us free. And so I bless our musicians, our volunteers that are here today so that we may deliver this service to you. And I know that we are all grateful to be here together and to have this opportunity to be in service with one another. And so for all of the blessings to come, we give thanks. We leave this time of prayer with gratitude, and we open our hearts and our minds to be fed on this day. And so it is.
Good morning. I'm Heather, and I'm honored to be your platform assistant. I'm excited to be here in this space and connecting with all of you. online and with the few wonderful volunteers that are here today, and with Elaine and Brad doing our music. And we're so honored to have Denise here to share her message with us today. We're grateful to have your light and your presence and your love here. So we're excited to have something new and different for us today. So we hope all of you at home are enjoying all of that. So one of the wonderful things that we have in Unity is the way that we pray, and it's changing a little bit, but we still have lots of ways that you can pray with us. So we invite you to reach out, email. You can leave a message in the office, on the phone. You can fill out a prayer request online at our website. You can contact Christina and Bev, who are in charge of the prayer team and the prayer chaplains. And please reach out and do pray with them. And you also can call Unity 24/7 on their hotline. And I'm sure that would be a wonderful thing for some of us to do right now when we're a little more isolated. So please make sure that you still do the prayer that would be supportive to you. And so now I invite you at home to join us in our prayer affirmation. All is well, for it is on earth as it is in the kingdom of heaven. And we hope that all of your prayer needs are met. And now I invite you to join me in the oneness affirmation. There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. And now we will be blessed with some more wonderful music.
I know Denise is going to be speaking on Release Your Inner Splendor. So this one is called I Am Made of God. I am made of God, and God is all of me. I am made of the goddess, and she is all of me. I am made of spirit, see it, feel it, hear it. I am made of God, and God is all of me. I'm going to do it again, and I believe the words are there for you. We're going to do that verse again. I am made of God. I am made of God, and God is all of me. Goddess. I am made of the goddess, and she is all of me. I am made of spirit, see it, feel it, hear it. I am made of God, and God is all of me. You and me and you and me and you and me and you and you and me and you. There's a presence, there's an essence, there's a light within me that shines. There's a presence, there's an essence, reflecting the divine. We do that again. There's a presence, there's an essence, there's a light within me that shines. There's a presence, there's an essence, reflecting the divine. We're going to hear from Brad. Beautiful Brad. There's a presence, there's an essence, there's a light within me that shines. There's a presence, there's an essence, reflecting the divine. There's a presence, there's an essence, there's a light within me that shines. There's a presence, there's an essence, reflecting the divine, reflecting the divine, reflecting the divine. It is the divine, reflecting the divine, reflecting the divine. It's all God, reflecting the divine, reflecting the divine.
Thank you so much. How uplifting and wonderful on a Sunday morning to have this music and these voices and these words. And so now we'll share some announcements with you. We are blessed to have so many things going on here and to have such a wonderful team who is switching to doing a lot of this and connecting with you online. And so we want to share that with you so that you can still participate, and actually maybe even more people can participate now that we have so many wonderful things online. So the first thing that I just want to share again, that we share each week, is the affirmation for our next minister, which we hope that you have at home and that you share and repeat daily as we attract the next person. And that minister affirmation is: with clarity, focus, and ease, we are attracting our next magnificent minister. And we encourage you to drop off $50 in an egg that we can put in our basket. We have 28 already, so we are on the hunt to basket for our next magnificent minister, and we'd like to fill that up. And Easter is only 2 weeks away, is that right? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And you can see, I think, in front of us we have Easter, so thank you to those people who made it so beautiful in here and are bringing that in for us. So some of our classes that we have going on Thursdays at 10:30 via Zoom, Christina, one of our Unity teachers, does the Keys to the Kingdom. And then Ellen Barron is doing quite a lot for us right now. We're so grateful for that. She's doing the Quest online via Zoom. And then she's also offering prayer practice on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. So that's another way that you can still stay connected in praying. So thank you for that, Ellen. Reverend Carla will be starting a new class on March 31st called Practicing Principles. And Reverend Carla is also available on Thursdays. You can text her or you can email her and set up an appointment to pray with her on Thursdays. So that's her day that she set aside for us. I spoke to her yesterday, and she sends all her love, and she wishes that she was here with us in person and got stuck in a different location. But she's doing well and sending lots of love and her wonderful self. So we're so grateful for all the things that she's still doing for us where she is. So hopefully you can connect with her. And then we also want to say you actually can stop by physically here today and tomorrow on the lanai and pick up the bread that we have each week that we pick up from Publix. So if anyone wants that, please stop by today or tomorrow by 2, and on the lanai will be any bread there, and you're welcome to take that. And let's see if I have any other. Oh, okay. So the final announcement that we do want to make is we still have basically the same expenses that we've always had, and we very much need your support for that. So we want to make sure you know the different ways that you can still continue to support the staff and the team and all the things that are done here at Unity. So on our website, there's a donate button, and we go ahead and click, and you can donate that way. You can also mail in a check, physical check in the mail to our address here. And you can also text to donate. So there are 3 ways to do that. And if you need any more information, you can contact the office. It's also on our website. So we are so grateful for all the ways that you continue to support us while we change the way that we're doing things here. Is there anything I missed? I think I got it all. Sorry it was so long, but we want you to have all that information. And so now we will move into a more sacred part of our service. We will have some music, and we will have a reading. So we will move right into the reading, and then we will have music, and then we will have our message.
Well, hello again. My name is Reverend Denise Schubert, and I'm very, very happy to be here with you this morning. I actually had a reason to put on some makeup and dress up a little bit and come out, so thank you for that. I'm grateful. So my talk today is Release Your Inner Splendor, and I'm hoping it will provide you with spiritual strength and food during this time. I know I need it, so I'm sure you must as well. My reading today is from Celebrate Yourself by Eric Butterworth. So he says, you cannot get away from yourself no matter where you go. You are always environed by yourself, horizoned by your mentality, encircled by your ideals, and constantly influenced by what you are saying to yourself. What you think within yourself and what you say to yourself is what determines the life you experience, the health you express, and the prosperity you demonstrate. This is what joy is, a celebration of life. The thought is predominant with most people that happiness comes from relationships and experiences in the world. The fact is, the happy life is one that is in tune with the inner flow. When you are inwardly centered, you are happy. And your happiness is not the effect of things or conditions, but much more likely the cause of them. And now more wonderful music from
In,
Elaine.
in line with Reverend Denise and her talk on Release Your Inner Splendor, this is a song I made a long time ago called Spirit Within Me. Spirit within me, now I see perfection and love with clarity. Spirit within me, now I know infinite gifts that you bestow. I am open, I am free, divine emotions are healing me. I'm complete and I am whole, sanctified in my heart and soul. Spirit within me, now I find so many blessings from one mind. Spirit within me, we are one, expanding beyond the moon and sun. I surrender to the light that fills me up and gives me the sight to see and remember what I feel is gratefulness that I am healed. Spirit within me, I am aware. What I receive is what I share. Spirit within my consciousness, reaching out to manifest. All my desires, wants, and needs are more than met in word and deed. Abundance flowing to my door continues now and forevermore. Spirit within me, now I see perfection and love with clarity. Spirit within me, now I know infinite gifts that you bestow. I am open, I am free, divine emotions are healing me. I'm complete and I am whole, sanctified in my heart and soul, sanctified in my heart and soul, sanctified in my heart and soul. And so it is.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Your music is perfect. It always works out that way.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, as a spiritual teacher and leader, my primary objective in the work that I do and have been doing for about 20 years is that our spiritual practice be practical, that we somehow come here on a Sunday morning, or in this case, we gather online on a Sunday morning, and we do this so that we can translate our faith and our practice into our everyday lives in very real ways. And I can think of no better time than now that we really need to do that. So I just invite you to be here open and receptive to somehow bringing something to the situation in the world that will transform your experience of the situation in the world in a really magnificent way. You hear us say, and I believe and say it again in this moment, that you and I are unique and individualized expressions of the infinite presence of love and beauty. This unimaginable something out of itself has created everything that there is. You know, I'm an ordained religious science minister, which is a kissing cousin to unity. And our founder, Ernest Holmes, who is a kissing cousin to the Fillmores, who created unity, in the Science of Mind textbook, he refers to God as the thing itself. That the first 3 chapters of the textbook are the thing itself, what it is and how it works, what it does and how it works. And what I know is that when I first came into this teaching 24 years ago, that I was probably, I would say, agnostic, that I just didn't know. I wasn't raised in a religion, but I knew. What I did know is that I didn't make myself. I knew that I didn't make the planets. I didn't invent gravity. I didn't have anything to do with the awe and wonder of the Grand Canyon or sunrises or sunsets or making babies or growing flowers. I knew, but I knew something did, right? I knew there had to be something. And so when I heard Ernest Holmes call it the thing itself, I kind of said, I knew there was a thing, right? I knew there was a something. And that something, whatever you want to call it, I like the word God myself, but if you don't, and you can call it love, you can call it intelligence, you can call it the thing, it is in you, that there is nothing else you could be created out of other than this amazing thing that we call spirit or God. Now, my talk today is Release Your Inner Splendor. And it is about the self-evident truth that whatever created awe-inducing wonder and beauty created you. And it is from that place that we are striving to live. It is from that place we are striving to love. It is from that place we are striving to give our gifts. And the mandate of that spiritual endeavor is to awaken from the dream, to awaken from the illusion, to awaken from the idea that we are merely bodies living in a physical world. And that mandates that that mandate requires that we open up to this idea that there is a space and place and dimension within us that is indestructible and unharmable. It is true that at some moment our bodies will disappear in the same way that they appeared. That is true, and it is an unavoidable truth. And some of us disappear in accidents, some of us disappear from old age, some of us disappear from the COVID-19, that there is this disappearing. But do not be fooled by this, because you are ultimately a body of consciousness. And as God cannot die, either can you. And this is something we hold on to in this moment to help us deal with this the fear that is running rampant, because God is also not afraid. So our spiritual practice, our spiritual turning within should in some moment give us the strength we need to actually weather through this time, to see blessings, to be, I fought this myself for about 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks of isolation, I live alone. I don't call it isolation anymore, or social distancing either. I'm calling it physical distancing. But I live alone, and at first it was like, oh my God, what's happening, right? What's happening? But I've come now to realize that there is really a deep blessing in this, and many deep blessings, which we'll talk about again in a moment. But it's really hard to do, to remember all of this when we're outwardly focused in the world. I have been using Nelson Mandela's story for about 24 years, using his life as an example of one who has transcended bondage. And actually, he is one who, in my view, has risen triumphant over bondage. And I've come to realize in days of late that this he is probably be to revered even more than we have thought, because his triumph over them required spiritual work on his part, I am sure. And I know this because I have felt in bondage in some ways, in some moments over the past month. Have you not? Have you not felt tied to your house as if your living room were a cell? I know I have deeply felt that way a couple of times. So all of us, so can you imagine a little more severe, but I don't know that much more severe. This feels pretty severe to me. Like we are, we drive on the freeways, we look into, I happened to be on a boat off of Fort Myers Beach over a couple of days ago, and I cannot tell you how weird it is to look at Fort Myers Beach without one person on that beach. It is surreal. It's like a movie. So I'm going to appear to take a little bit of shift in here, but hang in here with me, because there was a movie and a story that I've been preaching about and talking about for so many years, and I'm pretty sure some of my friends from around the country are here with us today, and they're going to say, oh, she's going to do this again. But I haven't been with you, and So most of you remember the story of Seabiscuit. Yes, that Seabiscuit was ultimately one of the greatest racehorses that ever lived. But he did not start out that way. That when Seabiscuit was sired by royalty, which means really that he was sired by really tall horses that ran really fast. And when he was born, he happened to be very small. And he happened to have been an amazing disappointment to the people who were waiting for him to be born because they were expecting a tall, fast horse. And what they got was this puny little horse. So he was declared, a proclamation was made upon his life that said, you're never going to be a racehorse, you are too small. It was like an announcement into this horse's world. And when we receive those kinds of proclamations, such as the one that Seabiscuit received, his world began to treat him like that. And how they treated him like that is in a couple of ways. They would make him run on the racetrack slower so that the real racehorses could focus. Or they made him run opposite, like counterclockwise, so that the real racehorses would learn how to focus more. And the end result of that indoctrination is the movie opens with Seabiscuit being this incredibly angry, disenchanted, inconsolable horse, unfit for human consumption. He couldn't run if his life depended on it, and he couldn't be consoled in any possible way. Now, before I go further, I just want to point out that this is really, for the most part, all of our stories. That many, many of us, if not all of us, by well-meaning parents, grandparents, teachers, siblings, aunts and uncles, preachers, ministers, at some moment possibly had some proclamation put onto us. Well, you're not as pretty as your sister. Honey, you're a little bit of a klutz. Don't try dancing. He was born a little sick, so he'll never really be able to play sports. These are proclamations. And when they're made, we end up feeling about ourselves and the world we live in a way that is restricting, or in a way that limits our freedom. Are you getting me here? Miguel Ruiz calls this in his great book, The Four Agreements, the domestication of humans. And the domestications of humans is purely this way of, it's a worldly way. So this is an outer world way of teaching us about our world, our relationship to it, what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong about me. And it always leaves us in a state, in fact, most of us also become adult people a little bit angry, a little bit inconsolable, a little bit unfit for human consumption. Now, this may not be your story, but it is the majority of society's story. And when people are not clear about who they are, when you have a bunch of spiritual beings under the illusion that they are human beings only, it leads to a lot of inconsolable behaviors. It leads to depression, it leads to addiction, it leads to isolation, it leads to lifestyle diseases from not knowing how that this awe-inducing, wonderful life is part of your life. So now I'm going to fast forward, because I just want, it's important to see that the ways of the world are the ways of the world. Joel Goldsmith was a mystical teacher and speaker, and he wrote this wonderful book called Living Between Two Worlds. And the living between two worlds means always, even today, everything you see you can look at from a spiritual perspective, or you can look at from a human perspective. And we have an opportunity now to try to put our arms around what's going on from a spiritual perspective. And I submit to you in this moment, it's the only perspective that will leave you free to really derive the juicy blessings from what's going on in the midst of the mess. You know, what I say is God doesn't create COVID-19 or any other disaster, quote unquote, or situation, but God blesses them. God raises love out of them, opportunities out of them. And we have to look. It's a perspective. So I'm going to fast forward now to keep this talk from being 4 hours long. That in the middle of all of this, some people came in to see Biscuit's life, an owner, a trainer, and a jockey. And they came together to try to, well, the owner wanted to make some money on him, obviously, it was an investment, but they wanted to do what they could to try to make Seabiscuit's life a better life and to turn him into the racehorse he was supposed to be. But nothing really worked. They brought him a girlfriend, they piped some music into his stall, they fed him special food, they talked to him, they probably prayed on him, but still nothing really touched this horse. So the jockey would take Seabiscuit out every day, probably many times a day, to run him around the track, to try to get him to get comfortable on the track, to try to get him to run a little bit faster today than he did yesterday. But nothing really ever worked. So there was this moment where this jockey had this touch of inspiration. And in this moment of inspiration, he did something really cool. He let go of the reins and let Seabiscuit run off the track. Now, something really awesome happened. Seabiscuit loved to run, and he loved to run really fast. And in that moment that Seabiscuit was off the track and running really fast, he was expressing the racehorse within him. His past became neutralized or irrelevant. That all of a sudden there was before him this unlimited possibility simply because he ran off track. Jesus said, Jesus said it be this way, "Be ye not conformed to the world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." I'll make it more modern. He said, don't try to fit in out there. Don't try to fit in with what's going on in the world. Don't try to be in the world. Be transformed by what's within you. Be transformed by thinking something outside of your domestication. It's a very, very powerful message. Essentially, he was saying, get yourself off track. Get yourself off the hamster wheel, or as Deepak Chopra in his new book calls it, the virtual reality of life. So such is the way with you and I as well, that there is something about you really good, something about you really special, something about you that is divine. And that if you haven't thought about this yet, you could be using this time, this alone time, this time of sitting, to treat it like off-track time. Like you could be writing that book, you could be building that website, you could be meditating, you could be educating yourself, you could be doing so many things that would be in total alignment with the splendor within you. So, I found, for myself, here's what I realized about myself about 2 weeks ago. I am a doing machine, right? That stopping for me is hard. It's like next thing, next thing, next thing, next thing. And I meditate a lot. So I'm meditating next thing. And so I had my central nervous system had to adjust a little bit because I can still go to the gym. It's like closed. Okay. I'll go to the movies. Closed. Right? Okay, I'll go to the pool. Closed. It's like, okay, great. What am I going to do? This voice, nothing. You're going to sit. right? Until somehow inspired action reveals itself to you. So this frenetic moving around, I think, will be one of the biggest blessings all of us experience, is this invitation. Actually, it wasn't even an invitation anymore. In fact, it wasn't an invitation. God said, really, you won't stop on your own? Here, try this. Called spiritual 2x4, right? Now, I don't think God actually does such things, but it does feel as if there wasn't any choice. So I've decided to choose it. We get to choose it rather than fight it. Okay, I want to stay still. I don't want to be with you. I want to stay home. So there is another important spiritual practice here as I move towards concluding this talk, and also as we move out of this time together back into the world. Ernest Holmes. So when we begin our spiritual practice, everyone knows that we have to somehow come to peace with our past. You must come to peace with your domestication. You must come to peace with your parents. You must come to peace with the choices, good or bad, that you made before this moment. We must, in order to move forward into a space of unlimited possibilities, you can't be carrying the baggage of the past with you. We all know that. And sometimes it's a piece of work and takes many years sometimes, but we all have to do it if we want to be living from the inside out, which is the point. You know, you don't want to live from the world in, because the world's, well, it's crazy out there, right? You want to be living from the peace that you are. But in addition to releasing the past, we have to release the future. And here's why. It's because the majority of us, when we make up the future, we make up a future we don't want. That we don't make up a future that we think we'll love. Now, I call it awfulizing the future. So we have to stop awfulizing the future. And if you're ever going to do that, do it now. Because if you spend too much time with the news, too much time with the internet, you can't help but awfulize the future because it sounds awful, right? But if we're here, not everybody's here, but if we're here because we have a kind of faith. You know, Ernest Holmes, I'm going to paraphrase how he said this, but Ernest Holmes said that the difference between fear and faith is this, that fear is a conviction that whatever happens next will be awful. And faith is the conviction like the belief, the holding strong to, that whatever happens next will be awesome. So I invite you to stand in faith, to stand in your faith that whatever happens next will be awesome. And no matter what's happening in the outer world, this universe belongs to the divine. This world belongs to the power and the presence and the intelligence that created the Grand Canyon. And you and I, we don't have the intelligence to do any of that. We observe it, we participate in it, but we didn't make it. Have faith in that. So Jesus would have said that it's possible for us now, in the midst of all of this, to experience a peace that passes all human understanding. And by the way, you don't have to share this with your friends. You don't have to go tell them you're not worried anymore. And don't stop washing your hands either. Wash your hands, exercise appropriate conversations with people, have compassion for people in the world. But you can be in this situation with no fear. You can. Meister Eckhart, the Christian mystic, said that joy is the evidence of God's presence. Peace is the evidence of God's presence in your life. Turn within. Let the outer world do what it's doing, and you stay within, into that place within you that is whole, perfect, complete, and free. So I'll close with this. Eric Butterworth says, begin your day in a celebration consciousness. Within you is the unborn possibility of limitless life, and yours is the joyous privilege of giving birth to it. Let the child of your great potential be born. The universe is celebrating you. Now you celebrate yourself. So today, pretend I am your jockey, And I invite you to take yourself off track. And let's see how fast you can run. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you. So now is a time to take a moment and turn within. So right where you are, in your living room, your kitchen, wherever you are, for those of us here in this room, we just take a moment to close those outer eyes, leaving the world in the care of God's hands, trusting that even now, divine and perfect action is taking place. And we open our inner eyes. Knowing in truth that everything is conspiring for our greater good. Standing in the truth that whatever happens to me happens for me. And we simply see the inner splendor, the inner luminosity, the peace, the freedom, the joy that is the very essence of who we are as unique and individualized expressions of the infinite. See it. Feel its presence. Know in this moment that you are safe. You are loved. Know in this moment that you are connected to everyone. God does not care where our bodies are. God cares where our consciousness is. And so it is in this awareness that I just truly speak my word for and about each person within the sound of my voice, affirming, declaring, and knowing your magnificence, that you are one of the wonders of the world. The Grand Canyon has nothing over you. And so I declare that we use this time of physical distancing to let something be born, something come forth from this inner place that is unharmable, and indestructible. It is in this moment whole. T.S. Eliot said, "What in this moment is lacking?" And in truth, nothing in this moment is lacking. We are together and we are free. And so I just release this word into a receptive universe that can only and ever say yes. So we accept this yes. We accept the healing. We accept the quick and efficient disposition of COVID-19. We bless all beings everywhere, knowing that all immune systems are raised and praised in this moment. And so with deep gratitude, with this word released, we leave here expecting and accepting its fulfillment. And we do this together by saying, "And so it is." Amen. Thank you.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will is done on earth as it is in heaven. You give us this day our daily bread. You forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. You lead us not into temptation. You deliver us from error. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen.
It was beautiful. Thank you. So now is the time for our conscious giving or offering. So as we've been reminded, physical distancing does not mean the bills don't need to get paid, does not mean there isn't an expense to delivering you spiritual strength and food every week. So please, please give in this moment. And we have an offering affirmation which we will say together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful. Thank you.
Conscious Communion is the name of this song. When I learned through my studies, the mystics began to look forward to a dark night of the soul because there were gifts there. They knew, they trusted. Conscious Communion. Conscious communion, bringing me back to my soul, a spiritual reunion. I can let go of the control, called forth from the depths. It's a mystical death. Forget the separation. I've stepped into the realization, aware of my vibration. let there be light. It's a humble head of the eagle, with tears that cannot be consoled, until the time I let go, bringing in the new from the old, called forth from the depths. It's a mystical death. Forget the separation. I'm going for the manifestation of bringing forth transformation. Conscious communion, bringing me back to my soul. What does the source in me need? A dark night to help me succeed, opening to show me what's real, this blessed truth that was concealed. What does the source in me know? A dark night to help me grow, opening to show me myself. I couldn't be anyone else. What does the source in me need? A dark night to help me succeed, opening to show me what's real, this blessed truth that was concealed. What does the source in me know? A dark night to help me grow, opening to show me myself. I couldn't be anyone else. Conscious communion, bringing me the heart of God, a spiritual reunion, inspired, and I am in awe, called forth from the depths. It's a mystical death. Forget the separation. I'm going for the inspiration, using my imagination, feeling the intoxication, shouting out my declaration, seeing the illumination. It's a sacred co-creation. Join me in the celebration. Conscious communion, bringing me back to my soul, bringing me back to my soul, bringing me back to my soul, bringing me back to my soul. And so it is.
And so it is. All right. That was beautiful. Thank you. So beautiful. So we're going to bless our offering today. So thank you, whether you wrote a check, clicked a button, or texted. And by the way, you can do that anytime you want, all week long, not just now, in a moment of inspiration. But let's just take one more moment to turn within and to simply bless the good that has flowed here, knowing that every offering, no matter how it comes in, has the energy and the power of inspiration and healing and strength. So this community, this unity of Fort Myers community, is raised and praised and blessed by that which you have given today, and you are raised and praised and blessed by having given it. And so I am grateful right here and right now for all of that good, knowing that we can continue to do good work in the world. And so it is.
And so this is the part of our service when we usually get to invite our children in. And so I just want to say to all of you out there who are parents of young children or children, we miss having you here with us and seeing your faces, but you're in our hearts and you're in our minds and we send it to you. And I just want to take this opportunity to send blessings and gratitude to all those people out there who are taking care of those children right now, parents who are working at home, children who are stepping up in a huge way. I've seen my own 11-year-old and 18-year-old doing all this online stuff, and they are really growing. This is a wonderful opportunity for them. And I thank all the teachers and the professors and all the people who are making it possible for us to still learn and have school through our computers and through our devices. It's just really, I'm in awe of it, and I'm so grateful for it. So I honor all those parents who are really stepping up and having a big challenge right now. And we look forward so much to when we can all be together again physically. So I just want to send this out. This is usually what we say. And I just want to send this to all the children of the world and all those who are caring for them. You are loved, special, and important. We behold and bless the Christ that you are. And we look forward to someday soon being able to say that in person and seeing you while we say it. And so we thank all of you for joining us today and being here with us. And the cool thing is that you can watch this service anytime you want, over and over again if you want. And I did last week's service a couple times. So hopefully you'll take advantage of doing that. If you decide that you would like to have the wonderful message that Reverend Denise did for us today, and thank you so much for the inspiration, the love, the story, it was just, you really uplifted all of us. And I took a bunch of notes, and I'm looking forward to listening to it again and taking more. But if you would like to have it on CD, you can contact the office and you can get it on CD because our AV team is still recording it. So it's wonderful that we can still have that. So we wish you a wonderful Sunday, a blessed week, and we hope that you will watch us again and again, and you will join us again next Sunday. And now, we hope you will join us at home in the peace song. As we do each Sunday, we will close with our prayer for protection. Please join me. The light of God surrounds me. I am that light. The love of God enfolds me. I am that love. The power of God protects me. I am that power. The presence of God watches over me. I am that presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And in closing, we share together our closing affirmation. We are strong in faith, steadfast in love. We are ready to receive our good.